Welcome back, barbecue fans. Another week of Wise Guys BBQ. I'm joined with my everlasting friend, Charles Baldwin, left side, and I'm Vin Picaro, your right side. We're here this week. We're doing a little tease for you folks who can't come to us on our next excursions.
So excited.
Yes.
It's been too long.
We're hitting the road, Charlie.
Where are we going?
We're going all over the goddamn place.
We sure are.
You actually know all about Portland. We're going this weekend. We're going up to Portland, Maine. Tommy has set up a little extravaganza for us, which I know you know a lot about. So I'm gonna ask you to jump in all over that. And then on the 8th, pretty sure it's the 8th of April, we're heading out to Dallas-Fort Worth.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
So this is exciting. We've been talking about this for 2 years now. We're like, Texas got to go. Texas, we got to do multis. So this is our first. This is our first one, and we're going to Dallas-Fort Worth. We're doing a solid 3-day tour. So we're there for 5. We'll leave, come back, and we're going to hit about 9. I had 9 on the schedule. Yeah.
Oh, that's like Carolina, baby.
That's it. This is the real deal. This is not like Portland. You're different from Portland.
Yeah,
Portland's an overnight.
Yeah, Portland's an overnight gig that we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. We got 2 places that are really high on our list. We got Terlinga in Portland, which is a very creative barbecue experience. And, they bring in traditional barbecue mixed with Southwest Mexican flavor. And they do a lot of really cool stuff with their food. And it's extremely popular. We're not going in the heart of, season up there. Yeah. So but I heard during from the spring to the end of the summer, they are just off the chain.
Well, I still think they hit it up because they call for the reservations.
Yep.
And they recommend that we come, more around dinner service because they got bands. They got bands up there and, they rock on. It's a lively joint at night too. So hopefully we'll catch some of that night crowd because it will be a Friday night.
They do have 4 bars in the place.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
Outdoor seating that's covered in the cold weather.
Yep.
And our friend from up that area, Ellen, said it's still 8 inches of snow on the ground up there, but that's
no
all right.
way.
We're good.
No, I'm done with the snow. I don't want.
Yeah, well, you're going back into it, pal.
Well, so this is great. Ellen's going to be up there. This is kind of this is a family affair for all of us. We're going to have our tech with us. So it's me, you, and Tommy. As usual, we have our wonderful tech, John Lee, joining us. John's going to come up and check out the restaurants with us. And then Tommy's brother lives in Portland.
Correct.
So he's the one who kind of, bent us that way. And he's got a great little bar he wants to take us to. It's actually not a bar; it's a club. It's a liquor bottle club. So you get a locker. It's open, so it's open 24/7. They don't sell anything, so everything in there is provided by you. So he has a locker. He's got it full of booze. It's 24/7. You get a card. You go in whenever, and you sit back and you hang out and drink. And it's got all the bar atmosphere around you, and I'm
having a vision of the future that Vin owns a locker at this bar before we leave, even though we may never go back there for years. I don't know. I'm getting a very powerful vision of that.
Yeah, I was actually checking. I was doing the math on the model because I was like, how does this place make money? And to see if that would, because I thought one of those in Providence, Rhode Island would be cool, but I don't know. I got to go check it out firsthand. And then you had mentioned, our dear friend Ellen was going to meet us up there because she lives in.
She's
Portland?
not far. She's not far. She doesn't
Okay.
live in Portland. She's outside. I think she said she's I don't know, maybe a half hour away.
Right.
But it'll be good to have a local to steer us around. She also has some bar suggestions too. So we'll see. We'll see how things work out. We're definitely going to that place.
You sent me one about free bacon.
That's the one she suggested. Yeah, they have
Charlie,
free bacon.
Look, I didn't fall off the turnip truck. There's no such thing as free bacon.
Well, you pay with your clogged arteries and cardiac arrest later on. Pay for a few more LBs. But anywho, mentioning Tommy's brother, he's the one that is big on Wilson County. He loves that place.
So that's the other establishment.
Yeah,
we're
that's
going
the other
there
place
for
we're
2
going.
o'clock.
Yeah, and he said the fried chicken is off the chain, which I'm so excited.
Yep.
But yeah, they do, like we said, a more traditional East Carolina whole hog experience. Looks right up our alley. I saw some pictures of the inside of it, and
right.
Hopefully we get to Terlinga sober, because this Wilson looks like someplace we might imbibe a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So we may have to. We have to be on our best behavior.
Do they have a half a dozen bars like Terlinga?
No, just one really good one.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I heard their pork shoulders, are, cooked for hours and hours, so they're super tender. Fall off the bone. But a lot of good sides there too, right? Mac
Your favorite, the pimento cheese.
I did get stuck on that.
I did too, man.
That was our first trip. That was North Carolina.
That was just me and you.
Yeah.
When the brother and Red Bridge had the pimento cheese sandwiches.
Red Bridge
great.
was fantastic. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, obviously, if you really wanted to be a lunatic, you could do that trip in one day. But we're not. We're going to spend the night in Portland and head back on Saturday. And we're just doing a couple because I want to see if we can get a little more into it with the owners a little bit. I mean, I don't know exactly who's meeting us there. I heard there was with Wilson, there was a little bit of an issue with finding getting to the owner on the phone. So I'm going to try again end of this week when they're open, and just before we get there, obviously. Wednesday, Thursday, give them a call, see if we can get somebody on the phone. Because that's nice. It's always nice to.
It always seems to work out in some way for us, though.
Oh yeah,
we usually somehow we get somebody that's in the know. And
well, you said it before. The universe provides.
Yeah. The universe loves barbecue for some reason, and me and you for another reason. I don't know about.
Absolutely,
we've done nothing to deserve it. Anywho.
All right.
Can't wait. It's kind of like a spring training for Texas, just a little warm up. Stretch our feet out and our livers.
We need it these
kidneys.
Days. That's right.
Yes.
Dallas-Fort Worth. Have you been before?
I've gone through. Usually I go to Houston where my friend lives. But Dallas, no, been through the airport. Massive.
So get a newbie like me, like where's Houston compared to Dallas-Fort Worth?
So it's south down towards the Gulf. Like not quite on the water, but down that way.
Yeah. And it's a haul in a car, right? Because everything's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a good 2.5. I think it's a good 2.5, 3 hour ride.
Seems like everything's an hour away, and people do that ride like we do.
Yeah,
around the corner. It's like us going to the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, they're saying, let's take a ride down to New York City and
right,
get something to eat.
Yeah, we're going. So we're going on, leaving on the 8th. We got early flights, and hopefully, I didn't make them this way. It just turned out this way, but hopefully they will keep the lines down because, TSA is still a nightmare and I don't want to really deal with that. But regardless, we're going.
I heard they're going to get some help.
Oh, is it?
I heard the ICE agents are already helping some airports out that are getting clogged up. And well, we're all right. They're not going to. Where are they going to deport us to? Federal Hill, the local bar.
So we leave on the Thursday. That's the 8th, I believe. And we that's the 9th. We leave on Thursday the 9th, and we're flying out early in the morning. So this is cute. So we're going. It's us three, me, you, and Tommy, and we're only taking Meg with us. Our tech Meg is going to come down and join us. And the first thing that's kind of cool. So everything. Maybe 15, 20 minutes from the airport, there's where we're staying, and it's an Airbnb. So this is a little different. This was set up by Tommy and his classmate from, 78 years ago. I don't even know what school he went to. Maureen. So, she goes by the name Mo. Thanks, Mo, for the hookup. Her and her family own a half dozen of these Airbnbs, and she's so sweet already. She's like, "Hey, anything you need, let me know." She was giving us a layout of where all the markets and liquor stores are, which apparently you can't walk 100 feet without missing a liquor store. But
liquor store, gun store, tobacco store, liquor store, gun store. I'm in Texas.
She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna drop off a Yeti, a cooler, and some Yeti cups, and what else you guys need?" And but she doesn't realize that we're just like, this place is just a crash pad.
Yeah,
it's not. We're not entertaining there. but everything's, centralized from there. It's 4 bedrooms. It's a nice, seems like a nice gig. So I'm looking forward to that. Plus, whenever you can have a living room and a kitchen to kind of just sprawl out in when you're done.
Beautiful.
It's better than lobbies of hotels. So
let's meet in the lobby. And Charlie's always late.
Or you're in the pool.
Or I'm in the pool. The pond of the pool.
So, and then we're going out, we're going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? The barbecue Mecca days. And we're going to try to hit 3 per day. And I try to get, Tommy had some, Tommy pulled these names out of the Texas top 50 barbecues. So, one of the top, I don't think it was
from Texas Monthly Magazine, I believe.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Yep. And so they weren't number 1 this year, but they were number 1 in 2020 on the Texas barbecue list is Goldie's. And they're fantastic.
They are famous.
Yep. And we put them day 1, number 1, because they're like the gold standard out there. So I wanted to start with something. It's always easy to start with the best and then go and then rate against that best as you go. They're one. We're calling it a line waiter. There's 2 line waiters. We got. So I put them on different days. I put Goldie's on day 1, and on day 2. You got Dane's Craft Barbecue. So Dane Craft's another, wait in line kind of to a sold out barbecue.
Yeah, folks,
joint.
when we say things like wait in line, that means like some of these places down there, people start lining up at like 4:00 in the morning.
Yep.
Because these places sold out by noon.
Yeah, exactly. They open 11, they're sold out by noon.
Yeah, it's crazy. People bring their lawn chairs.
Yep. And
kids.
That's right.
We're going
to try to use a huge celebrity status and say, hey, we're coming down to record. Can we get
if they don't know us, they don't know anybody. Right?
Exactly. So hopefully we get some front of the line passes with this. But if not, it's okay. We'll wait in line. We don't mind. This is what we get paid for, to bring you first-rate Destination Q information, even from Dallas-Fort Worth.
We wouldn't do it for anybody else, guys. Trust me. We wouldn't do it for us.
Yeah, we would.
All right. All right.
What?
You call me bullshit.
Travel around the country and eat barbecue? I'm in.
I know, that's a tough one. That was a tough sell, wasn't it?
Yep.
Hey, Vin.
So, all the traditionals over there, we're going to get, they're definitely going to have your brisket, your ribs, your sausage. And the pitmasters of the show here, there are 3 fantastic pitmasters who are the founders of the restaurant. And again, this is one of these restaurants that opened up, pre-COVID and then rebranded themselves post-COVID and just killed it, What I hear too about this place is that it's very, very quality related because it's consistent. These guys they're running their fires the same every day. They're doing their whole times, their marinade, everything is awesome. So consistently awesome. So therefore the outcome
that is great. I mean, in every restaurant, but barbecue, the consistency is what brings people back. They have to know that, they've been there 3 times. It's been fantastic. They know the 4th time it's going to be fantastic.
Yep.
If you're not consistent, you're not going to get that following that you really need to make a barbecue place work.
And if you think about it, that's our cross to bear in New England, right? Because New England, you got to deal with the winters. So a lot of these places don't, they're not open during the winters. They're closed down. They're seasonal. The chefs, the pitmasters that come back year after year are not always the same ones, unless they're the owner. Like when we were at Barks Barbecue, that place is fantastic. Husband and wife team, can't say enough about them. But because they're the owners and they're the pitmasters, it's always their flavor profile. It's always good.
Yep.
But if you go to another restaurant, and especially in Rhode Island, it's not. You get different pitmasters season to season. You get even different complete staffs season to season because they just don't. They don't have the year-round following that places like Texas has. So this is what we deal with. So I'm dying to find something. Like, well, we learned this in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
You walk in, it's like the people, like they're become dull from it. Like they're giving you like, we're like, oh, this is the best barbecue ever, and they're like, well, we do it.
Well, this is what we do.
365.
Glad you like it.
Yep, absolutely. Next on our list on day one is Smokey Joe's Barbecue, classic old school neighborhood
That one
barbecue.
I don't know.
You don't know much about them?
No, I don't know much about that one.
Well, I got a little write up here.
Well, let's see it.
Go down there and check that.
Again,
check that out. No frills, no hype.
Okay, I like it
represents
already.
a foundation of Texas barbecue culture, kind of place locals defend with their life. Ooh,
that's my kind of joint right there.
That's drastic.
Yeah,
with your life, barbecue.
I'll have to let us in, damn Yankees.
What makes them different? Heavy focus on sandwich culture. And what kind of sandwiches they have? Must tries there are the chopped beef sandwich. Ooh, pork ribs, of course. Sausage and beans, but chopped beef sandwich.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm in. So that's our number 2, and our number 3 we round off that day. Slow bone, chef-driven barbecue southern sides, fried chicken, brisket, mac and cheese. I don't know why Tommy picked these guys. I'm hoping it's the fried chicken. Tommy's a chicken man.
Me too.
Yeah.
And he knows if he can find fried chicken, I'm all over it.
Right. He definitely likes his fried chicken. Chef versus pitmaster. So that's interesting.
Okay.
So
is that like he wants to be called a chef, not a pitmaster, or is you don't know?
Yeah. Well, your favorite. See. What's your favorite word? Chef couture.
Chef du cuisine.
Chef du cuisine.
That's French for pitmaster or head chef.
Yeah. Shut my phone off.
Chef du cuisine.
These are all our fans pinging us up right now.
What did I say wrong?
Show. No, exactly.
Yankee.
So so that's day 1, and I already put on 6 pounds. Just reading this, not even being there.
We have to have some kind of strategy this time. I know I say that every trip.
It's impossible.
And we totally gorge ourselves in the very first spot, and then we can't even hardly look at food after that. But we fight through it. We're fighters.
We muscle through. We always say there's 3 of us.
Character.
Why don't we pick one restaurant each to eat? It never happens, especially the first one. Can you imagine us after getting to our first place and we're sitting in line for 3 hours not having something to eat?
God, we're gonna rape that place. Maybe that's the wrong word. We're gonna violate that place. Damn.
Yeah, I feel violated right now. So
listen, part of the problem is not our fault. Okay, part of the problem is inevitably we go up there and say, "Yeah, just give us a little bit of everything." And these guys bring out enough food for 80 people because they want to show off the wonderful stuff that they do.
Everybody's very proud
I
of
just
that
I threw in an extra 2.5 racks.
You're gonna try this. No, you're gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Our number 1 side right here.
Love it though.
Yeah, excellent. So it's day 2, like I said, Dane's Craft Barbecue is our number 1. Another. Different from what was the first one I was saying? Goldie's, but different where it's backyard top tier barbecue. So it's a little different in their approach to make it, but it's still very, very popular, and it's a sellout type restaurant. Just about every one of these Texas restaurants are a sellout. Because of that, Tommy did pick some off the beaten track.
Awesome. Love that stuff
kind of a thing. Trucks. He's got a truck in there.
Great.
So we're going to be looking at another line to wait in at Dane's Craft, which is fine, and we'll see what they got for over there. They got some burgers over there, which is interesting. That they put up on
probably a brisket burger or something.
Yeah, something a little different. It is. I think it's the end of April is Smash Burger season, so maybe we'll have.
You know what's going on right in this weekend?
What? Oh well,
the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I know it's going to be crazy
this weekend in Portland. And then I think the Final Four should be over by then. I think.
No, it's not. It's the following weekend, isn't it? No, it's 2 weekends after, so it might be.
We'll
over.
miss that thing.
Yeah,
I'm sure Dallas probably has some teams down there, but anyway.
Yeah.
I digress.
Yep. Now, on the second day, we're going second stop, Panther City Barbecue.
That's an interesting. Is there really a Panther City? Is that the name of the town?
I don't think so. You think so?
I don't know, but that name jumped out at me, and I was like, wow, that's an interesting.
I'm dying to check these guys out because this is my Bob Bowman of the crew.
Yeah.
Because it's a competition roots. So they came out of competitors, and now they're doing full-time food. And, that's interesting. If that'll
be a good conversation.
If you do full-time food and you want to go compete someplace, that's one thing. But to be a competitor.
To go back the other way?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Interested to find that out. A little Tex-Mex fusion going on there. Elote, which is their street corn, briskets, elote, poppers, tacos, pudding, Tex-Mex fusion. This might be one of the trucks. Like I said, Tommy had 2 trucks, one a Hala and a Tex-Mex. So that's what that could be. Interesting to know. We probably should have phoned him in on this, but it's all right, folks. You'll hear more about it.
He's still sleeping from yesterday. He called me last night and said, I just got home. I was there since 6 a.m. All I said was, oh God, Vin.
Ask John. I had to rush him across. Not that I was doing something or whatever. Yeah. My wife left the house. She had to run an errand, and it was 2 or 3 hours. And I was like, she comes home at 6 o'clock. We started at 6 a.m. and we're still in the kitchen mucking about. She's gonna
put you in a mental institution.
Yeah. She's gonna flip the switch. So I was like, Tommy, maybe maybe our listeners don't have to know it's a little, under, like, because you were saying that's a little. What he kept saying, John, it's a little stiff. It's a little stiff.
It's stalling. It's stalling.
So, it was always stalling. But I didn't think so. We did. So I'll give you my quick synopsis. We did a pastrami.
That's right.
Rib, right? Yeah. We did a beef rib, a pastrami beef rib. So we had to grind out. We brined it. We had to grind out for a week. And usually in a rib, different from a brisket, because there's not a lot of fat content, it doesn't run a huge stall, right? You can get a stall on a brisket 2.5 hours sometimes. This should not have had a stall like that, but it did take its time to come up to temperature. And the only thing I could think of was because it was sitting in that brine for the whole week, it was just loaded with moisture.
Sure.
All that moisture had to come out. I mean, it didn't help that it was 38 degrees and snowing.
Yeah.
It could have been a little better of a spring day, but I get it. But we started at 6. We probably had it in the smoker around 6:30. And it came out, it finally hit the upper 190s around 4:30, 5 o'clock p.m. And we pulled it and we went to town from there. But it was interesting because what we did was we put another cook in the middle of it, which came out great. I had smoked on Sunday some points of the brisket that we had left from the corned beef cooks. And I did those, one for my daughter and one for Tommy. And what we made from there was brisket, grilled cheese, which came out really nice. And Tommy, Tommy's way, I want the nice thick bread. I'm like, they got it at the market. It's Texas
But he wants
toast.
the Texas toast.
No, that's not good enough for Tommy. We had to go to 7 Stars, and they have this white bread.
Yes, they do.
It's about this big, folks, and it weighs probably about 3 pounds. I literally
You
thought
wanted to slice it up for him.
I thought he wouldn't. Don't know. I'll cut it myself. And I thought there was a file. It was so heavy, like a file for you. Like somebody was getting out of jail with this thing. We're taking this right down to the ACI, but nope, it went in. So we did. So it was kind of fun because, again, like I said, it was snowing and raining, and they opened up at 7, and we had these things it's like a sellout kind of bread. They only make so many, and they go away. So we run down to Hope Street, 7 Stars, to pick it up. So, of course, I'm filming it like I'm on some little friggin' Boy Scout trip. Okay, get in the car. Trip. Okay, get out of the car. Okay. And some woman, we walk in. Because, me, first of all, and I got the camera out like this, and I'm walking around with the girl, the girl goes, oh, you're filming this? No, this is how we paid for it. I'm sure there's a QR code on there somewhere. Anyways, that was a fun little road trip to get the bread.
Yeah, that's a great little bakery
Texas
right
toast,
there. I walk over there all the time. And,
he killed me. That's why.
Great stuff.
That's why I laughed when you said you wanted to cook today, probably.
Yeah.
A new sandwich you wanted to try out. And I said, can we push it down the road?
Oh, in God's name, no.
I cooked all day Sunday, which was fun because it was just me and I just relaxed kind of atmosphere. And then all day yesterday with this dino rib and with the brisket toast. So, yeah, long 2 days of cooks. I'm glad to have today off.
Tommy has become a Terminator. can't be reasoned with. He can't be stopped. He will not end the cook until it is right.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah. No, I know. He does some great work, folks. He really has
I was
a
breaking
blast
his balls about that last night.
I actually got a call from my nephew, and he's got some rental property. He's asking me for ideas on what to do. And this is on what's that street? Wayland Square.
Wayland Ave or Waterman.
Waterman, right? And Wickenden?
Wickenden is further down.
Okay.
Fox Point.
Yeah, that's where it goes down to. He has a building there, and he's got a spot. And his somebody had told him that there's really no butcher shop anymore. Like, remember the butcher shop on what's that, Elmwood?
Yes.
So everybody knows East Side Butcher Shop.
Mike's Meats, I think it was, or something like that. Or Mike's
So
Market,
at one time it was
like
a butcher. Now it's just more or less a big deli, right? He's got prepared foods. He's got sandwiches. You go in there, you have your coffee in the morning. They don't really do a lot of selling of meats, butchering of meats. So, the idea was, hey, like a real quality craft butcher in that area would do it, would really go over the edge with it. But they're like, what about Tommy the butcher? You think he'll do it? And I'm like, he's been doing it for 49 years. I think he's done. I really think he's done. He's enjoying this, but I don't know. And he's like, well, will he mentor somebody? Would he have, like, if we got a young butcher and brought him in and showed him the way, and it might work out well. The problem is, a butcher shop is never just a butcher shop, right? You got to have
some walk-in, takeout stuff. All that stuff goes with it now.
And then you need a big freezer for it. And then you need, like, I use the model of the meat bar marketplace.
Yeah, he's got a whole kitchen back there, smoker, everything.
And then
back
in the
there.
back of his building, he's got smokers going, and that's what you kind of need to do if you're gonna, you can't do that at a commissary.
It's definitely not a one-man operation. You need a whole crew.
But I don't know. I gotta talk to him about it. See what he says.
You may spark up Tommy's PTSD if you tell him, "Hey, you want to be a butcher?" Jesus, no.
Maybe I don't.
The area. Yeah, the area is, when we were in high school, that's where we used to go to buy dope. That's not like that anymore. That area down there is very young, upward moving professionals now, college kids, and it's a very nice little area that probably would do some good business over there.
Yeah.
Those places over near MB, the deli over there and the bagel place. They do very well there.
Right. And that's where the butcher shop deli, where the model came from.
Right.
It was like, hey, that used to be a butcher shop, but they don't butcher anymore. They're just doing this stuff. And, of course, like the big seasons, everybody goes there and gets their standing rib roast and their turkeys out of the place. Guy will cook full torque dinner.
Okay.
What is that road? That's Elmwood, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Elm Grove.
Thank you.
That's right.
That's
you said Elmwood.
Shop.
I'm going, South Providence.
No.
Yeah,
no. And then
the butcher shop. Very nice.
And then what's the Irish bar on Wickenden Street?
McKinley's, I think.
Yeah. And that's Wickenden, right?
It's Wayland Ave and something.
Wayland Ave. So it's Wayland Square, Wayland Ave, and he's further down towards Fox Point side of and that's the building he has, and he has this store in the front that he's deciding to close the store, keep the rest of the building for offices, and that's what he's thinking about for a butcher shop. So I said, I don't know. I said, I'll have the conversation with Tommy, but Tommy is like,
he's having way too much fun.
Number one, absolutely. But I'm thinking we could kind of use that. We could spot off that place as the idea. Like, that's what I'm almost thinking. I'm thinking, hey, maybe we don't make it a full-time walk-in butcher shop restaurant. Maybe we make it a Wise Guys Tommy the Butcher studio that serves butchered meats, right? Mm-hmm. So you can come in and buy some stuff, but make it be and shoot all our stuff over there. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation to have. So that's day 2. We got one more that day is cattle barbecue. And that'll finish us off for day 2. And then we have day 3. And I think day 3 is a little more Yerby's. That's the one with the challah brisket. That's our third stop on day 3, Sunday. I think it might be.
What is it? Halal?
Challah.
Yeah, it's blessed or whatever. So it's not,
right.
It's not,
right. It's a challah barbecue concept. It's got brisket. It's got chicken. It's not
pagan meat. It's been, Like what's the Jewish version is? What's the Jewish version?
Kosher.
Kosher, exactly.
Yes. And they have water and ice, so that's good.
Okay, cool.
So we're going there. We might need some water and ice. But it brings in, Tommy wanted to try this because it brings in this global barbecue, which you know a lot about because you did a lot of the articles about barbecue around the globe. So you wrote articles about barbecue around the globe. So that's really interesting for me. And this, I know by this time we're not going to be looking for like a big shout out.
By this time, we may be doing desserts only.
Only, yeah. That's what we migrate to, folks. No more brisket, please. Just bring me that wonderful cherry cheesecake pie.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what, so I don't know if Meg wants to do this or she has done this, but when we were talking like on the meeting this week, she's like, oh, we got to go to a Buc-ee's. Now, you know about Buc-ee's, right?
Buc-ee's is the truck stop.
Exactly, gas station.
Yeah.
I call it the gas station. And it's got like 300 pumps, but it's a truck stop. And they have full barbecue in these places. And some places are supposed to be like top-notch barbecue served. This is not your gas station sushi. This is some really good barbecue.
Yeah, you can walk out of there with a quarter pound of brisket, a switchblade, and a tire inflator. And anything you want, and a nice sweatshirt.
So we're gonna fit that in on the first day when we land because we get in like lunchtime on Thursday. So we're gonna go Thursday night before we even start our thing. We're gonna go to a Buc-ee's and we're gonna check that out.
I just read something about Buc-ee's and I can't place it.
So that's our trip. I think it should be exciting. It should be. We got to do more than one. We can't do one Dallas. I mean, one.
No,
Texas.
we have to go to Austin.
Yes.
We have to go to Austin. If we go to Texas and don't go to Austin, we're gonna get ridiculed. People are gonna say you didn't even go.
Right. Right.
Austin is the Mecca.
So when should we look to do that? If this,
maybe the week after Dallas, we can.
After I get
we can't jam that together.
So, folks, you can go on our website. You can get the Wise Guys stomach pump. It's going to be a new item for us. We're going to have a whole line of stomach pumps from
and our X-Lax shot.
Forward. Yeah, absolutely. So that's it. So hopefully we'll have a lot of film footage and some DQs, destination Qs from our trip, and we'll tell you all about it. We'll let you know how Tommy does. Tommy's kind of turning into our travel agent with this.
He's doing a fantastic job with that. And I was just saying, wow, this guy he's getting so good at detailing everything and organizing. And it's like you said, we have like our own little travel agent there as far as we're going. And thank you, Butcher. You're doing a fantastic job, brother. Next week, we are hoping to have the Barbecue Ninja back for a record third time.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And I talked to him yesterday and he is really excited. Last year was kind of a little bit of an off year for him because he bought a house and,
he
was
busy.
He was busy. He had a lot of stuff going on, but
he
has a lot of plans for this year and he's really pumped to show us some of the things he's been working on.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
Bring some food here. And so we can
spoils us. He always
does.
Food.
And we can get some good film on his food and us stuffing our faces with it.
Looking forward to that, Rich. And then we got coming up down the road after that, we'll have Kathy and Tom Trainer.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, they're back.
Yeah. Things seem to be going their way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to jinx it.
No, they really lucked out with their golden ticket to the SCA World Championship. So they have all that to talk about. That just took place, I think, a week ago. So I'm dying to hear about that. Plus, they're going to give us the lowdown about Cora, because Cora is blowing up for them right now with, the opportunities of not only the Jack, which they have every year, but the Barbecue World Cup.
2 times, baby.
2 times, yep. So I want that $1 million.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah, big Bobby Bowman's going to be up there cooking, I think.
Imagine if Bob wins that thing.
Imagine if Bob wins that thing.
That'd be like winning the lottery for him.
We'd have to tie him down with ropes, like Macy Day balloon kind of a thing.
I mean, we'd have to go to the Jack with him, right? I mean, we'd have to.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's a great point because Tommy had said it too. We should just go to the Jack just as a spectator. I mean, you remember the conversation we had last year with that promoter, the Jack promoter that Bob hooked us up with. And, she's like, she goes, we get a huge crowd who just comes down and hangs out and watches. So I would love to
catch
do that.
The pork butt bowling in the middle of the town square.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be cool because, you know, the people that get to go, they kind of close mouth about it. They don't like to it's almost like an honor to be there. They don't like to talk a lot about it. So we can't get any firsthand. I would think we need to get some firsthand.
I always said we're going to have to do these things sooner or later, go into some of these big competitions and report firsthand. And I think that's a great idea.
Yep, absolutely. So, folks, stick around. We got a lot more coming up the next few weeks before we head out to Texas. And then, of course, we're going to have all that great information from Texas. So go out, eat more barbecue, and we'll catch you next week.
Adios.
Adios.